Okay, I am still yet to get home. However, that's not going to stop me from making more stuff about MagicCon Minneapolis. So, as some people have seen from my TikToks and my Twitter, one, super glad that Wizards of the Coast gave me this opportunity to go on a creator badge. It's been amazing. It was fantastic meeting so many people and giving away so many amazing things. But while I went and got like the creator little bundle and got like cards and stuff, and I got the secret layer for myself, I actually didn't get a lot of cards. What I got is like my own little like niche special interest that is converging in a wonderful way with Magic. So some of you might remember early in my TikToks and like also on my YouTube channel, check that out if you haven't, I've been mentioning that like I really want Magic to be accessible in as many ways as possible. One way is of course making sure that the game itself is welcoming to new players and more casual players, which is fantastic. But a way to do that is one, to showcase the characters in a positive way, and two, to actually have merchandise that is fiscally like just accessible to people, because like cards are really cool, but if you don't know like the singles market, that can be really difficult. And then, you know, getting figures of these characters is also really difficult if you don't know about like the Funko Pop previous line, or like how to do like different like action figure places, or, you know, buying $1,000 statues. There has to be some median there. And a great way to do that is the pin program that's finally coming back in earnest. So at the first MagicCon, Magic 30 in Vegas, they released the first wave of these pins. They are fantastic. They are so cool. They were not photographed the best, so they looked like the really bad like bubbled enamel that like Disney tries to like sell for really cheap. But it's not that. These things are just hefty hunks of metal, and these were very cool. The first wave did well, but like the mystery packs people didn't really understand, and you could get individual like certain characters from the shared retailers, but a lot of the shared retailers kind of tried to like undercut each other, so you had to buy a certain amount of cards or product from that retailer to then get the pin. And that didn't go over so well. Eventually the pins did sell out at that show, but like it didn't really make an ecosystem of pin trading, which is what they were trying to do. But in Minneapolis, I think they are finally starting to strike while the iron is hot, and oof, is it real good. Let's go into it. I got a lot of pins from Minneapolis. That's basically what I got in Minneapolis. Let's check them out. Okay, so right out the gate, for Minneapolis, people obviously saw other people with pins, saw me wearing pins. Every video I took from Minneapolis, I had a lanyard just full of pins. So the reason that there were so many pins at Minneapolis is because there was apparently a like production issue. So half of the pins were supposed to actually be at Philadelphia, and then that didn't happen. So then everything just showed up from Minneapolis. So there were, I believe, 20 or 21 pins, some of which were retailer like open-faced. You could go get them from the like certain shared retailers, or in the situation of the Eternal Wanderer and Tali and the Gitrog, you could just buy them flat out from the actual convention show store, which was great. Something that they really did in Minneapolis that was fantastic was that shared retailers had the option of you could sell or buy a certain amount of product to get a pin, or you could just flat out buy it for $15. And let me tell you, that was so much better. There was so many more people walking around grabbing these pins because there were so many cool characters. And I have 11 of the pins, all of which I bought myself. As a creator, I was not given anything, so I just want to say that out flat out. I got this all myself, with the exception of obviously Emmercruel and Dockside Extortionist. These two were at Philadelphia because they were part of the mystery packs. This was a part of the mystery pack. This could be open-faced. They were left over from Vegas because people weren't really sure about the pin trading, so they kind of just sold them there. Now you cannot get these. And actually, in the back of these, and the back of all of these pins actually, you can kind of see they're also stamped with the symbol of the convention that they are from, which is very cool. So this is the Magic 30 Vegas. It's the, I always forget what the hotel is, but it's one of the hotels that has the mini pyramid in front, and then it says MagicCon, and then has like the little Planeswalker symbol. So that's very cool. but like all of these have show specific stampings on the back. So they are also pretty collectible that way. And they range from prices, so you can buy them flat out from shared retailers for $15, or you can get the mystery packs for $12 each, which is pretty great. And then you can actually pin trade with staffers. That one is a little bit more of a sticky widget. I will talk about that a little later, but let's get into the pins that I got. So at Minneapolis, the pins that were open-faced were Saheeli, Jaya, Ajani completed, the Eternal Wanderer, Nahiri completed, and Tamio completed, and Atraxa. I did not get everything. I just really got characters that I cared about and then gambled with the mystery packs. So flat out, the Eternal Wanderer was one that you could get at open face, like I said, so you could just buy her straight from the store. So this is how the cards come now. They're very cool. The backing is the actual card. It's got the text, it's got everything with it. Amazing, she looks embossed. That is so freaking cool, right? I love these. So there's that. That's how they look when you keep them on the card. When you take them off the card, so like this is Jaya. Jaya looks so cool. These all look amazing. I love this, just heavy hunks of metal. I walked around that convention with pins on my lanyard all weekend and my neck was hurting. But a main difference also from the Vegas pins and from the Minneapolis pins is that these backings actually keep the character art on them. So they are like big cards, effectively. They're like the oversized cards that you used to get from the Commander precons, which is very fun. In the Vegas pins, the original Vegas, the original M30, the pin was on the card, and then when you took the pin off, there was a blank silhouette, as if you literally pulled the character out of the art. I'm on the fence about which I like more, because this is cool, because like, you can bet your patukas I'm going to be making an Oathbreaker deck with one of these giant cards. Someone pointed out to me that I got like all of the Planeswalkers, and by Jove, I got most of them. So like, yeah, these are definitely going to become Oathbreakers. Saheeli is another favorite of mine. This looks so cool. I love that you actually get like the hovering of her with her little like goblet here. Very fun. This was actually at the Trevor Project booth, and I went first thing on Friday to get all of these like open face pins because I knew they were going to sell out, because I called every single retailer and was like, could I just buy them? And thank God I could. But Trevor Project was actually just giving her away for free on Friday, and I was like, hey guys, you're here for a charity. Maybe you should ask people to donate something, even just $5. And thankfully, it seems later on Saturday, they were asking people to donate. So thankfully, Saheeli would be proud that you guys helped people and then got a really cool pin of her. And then of course we also have Tamio, which is the completed Tamio. This looks very freaking cool. I love that you got like her scroll there too. And then of course you also have completed Ajani, which that's just so cool. They're just huge hunks of metal, y'all. Like, I don't know how else to describe that. These just look very freaking cool. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. So those were all of the open face pins. Now let's get into the mystery pins. The mystery pins, which you could again buy in like a little mystery pack. It was just one pin per pack, and it was $12 each. Those had 9 pins in them. 6 were, you could actually see what they were, and then you had 3 that were like super mysteries. You had all like their silhouettes. So if you were really good at silhouetting, you could figure out who they were. But if not, you had a super mystery, which, I mean, I think was pretty cool. The pins that I did get were very fun. So I got the Sheoldred in her little spider form, just scurrying away, amazing. I got the Wrenn and Realmbreaker, which is so hefty and cool. When I pulled this, I could just feel the squareness of this and knew instantly that it was Wrenn, and I was so excited. I was so scared I wasn't gonna get her. And then I also pulled everyone's favorite flaming bisexual, Chandra. God bless, God bless, God bless. Which also, her card is very fun, because like it's this amazing Randy Vargas art of her throwing what I believe is one of the 5 sons of Mirrodin, which honestly is just so cool. And of course, I got the woman, the myth, the legend, the deity now? I got the Elspeth, the Archangel Elspeth, which is so cool. I was really worried that I wasn't gonna get it. She's my wife's favorite planeswalker, so I really needed to get it. Thankfully, I ended up getting something to trade, and then I traded for her. We'll talk about trading in just a second. The 3 mystery pins, like extra mystery of the mystery pins, were relatively easy to guess, at least 2 of them. One was Jace, the Perfected Mind, so completed Jace, which is very cool. He looks amazing on his card. Love that. One of the others, was completed Nissa, so you could, if you wanted to, have all of the completed Planeswalker, or most of the completed Planeswalkers, because come on, they were never going to give Luca a pin. But like, I had to get Nissa so that I can have her and Chandra together on our pin board. Come on. And then the other mystery pin was Elish Norn. Alas, I did not pull Elish Norn. Like I said, I got Elspeth from pin trading, and pin trading at this show was great, and then also very much a work in progress. Let's discuss how. So with pin trading at Minneapolis, they as in WotC, really tried to kind of start a pin trading ecosystem. So one way that they did that was the general information / merchandise replacement / tournament, like catch-all question booth that was in front of the command zone. That was also a pin trading hub. So people could go there and actually like trade pins that they pulled and they didn't want. They could put them on the countertop, and then there were other stuff that people can trade that they could grab. And so they eventually started a little like a mini trading ecosystem. If you didn't feel comfortable trading amongst other attendees, you could go to the general information and trade there. That's actually where I got Elspeth, and they got to know me so well that show because I would constantly keep going back. So they were very fun. There were also staff members that you could walk around to, and they would actually have flip-up as a pin trading pin, and you could just trade whatever you wanted and they would give you flip-up. Thing is though, because they are trying to start this ecosystem of trading, specifically with like staffers, it's kind of like pin trading with Disney cast members. But with pin trading with Disney cast members, that's not their pins. So like they just get a handful and they put them on a lanyard, and then you can give them whatever to trade for it. And they are going to do that because they want to start the ecosystem. Here, that was kind of a toss-up. So while the thought process of starting a pin trading ecosystem while using staff members at the conventions is a really good idea, a la Disneyland and Disney cast members, it's harder here because you will have staffers that either take it too seriously and just flat out won't trade you unless they want the pin that you want to trade them, or they kind of understand like the equivalency of the pins, but the general person doesn't understand the equivalency of the pins. And here's what I mean by that. The general attendee isn't going to think, oh, this pin that this staff person is wearing is different than the pin that I bought at this show because it is a pin that is at this show, therefore I was told that I can trade them. The equivalency thing is hard to do because in the eye of a general buyer, I paid $15 or $12 for this at this show, I should be able to pin trade it. So that's a little difficult to sell when you're early on in making a pin trading ecosystem. And then, you know, you're gonna have different people who go about it different ways. I, fortunately, got both of them. I had a great interaction with a staffer who stated that she wouldn't trade her Thipip because it was a staff exclusive for like a general, like common pin like the Teferi Spirit token because it was a common, but she would if someone were to offer her like the Urza Black Lotus exclusive pin because it's a Black Lotus exclusive for a staffer pin. That's an equivalency. Cool, that makes sense. But she explained it very nicely. And then you have staffer, like the other staffer that I had a situation with, that I tried to trade a Magic 30 from Vegas pin for her Thipip, and she flat out told me, no, that's not good enough, I'm not doing that. Didn't explain it, that was literally what she said, and I didn't push the issue, and I was like, okay, thank you, have a great day. And the person I was with was like, hey, was that how I was supposed to go? No, it's not. But I didn't push it because I've done the pin trading thing before, and I knew to just make a note of this and to comment on it later, like now. And I was just happy it happened to me and not someone who it was their first day at a show at all, or a kid. It's one of those things that we're starting an ecosystem, so we have to figure out these questions of what that means. Don't take me bringing up that really bad situation I had with that staffer as a net negative. I didn't hate the pin trading. I didn't hate the pin program. It was amazing. I participated in it all weekend. I saw so many people who loved my pins. I pointed people to get more pins. It was so much fun. I'm bringing this up because it's constructive criticism. It is constructive criticism. I want to see this continue at future Magic Cons. Hopefully we get future Magic Cons, because I want Wizards of the Coast, if they see this, I want them to be able to grow from it. I want them to take the feedback and get better, because that's the thing that a lot of people are now very rightfully seeing. It happened in Philly and it definitely happened in Minneapolis. They are taking the constructive feedback of what people didn't like from the previous shows and building on it, instrumentally building on it and making these shows so much better. And I want that for the pin trading. It's already great. There's just things that needs to be like fine-tuned here to make it amazing. And speaking of, here's another thing that I think would be very cool and a good way to get the equivalency and the pin trading fodder a lot easier for people to handle, even if it's their first time at the show. Disney is able to get across the fact that people can buy stuff and then pin trade with cast members very well, because they've been doing it for so long that there's so many pins in circulation that people can just have very cool pins that they just picked up that are a little cheaper, and then they can have very expensive pins that they just picked up, or older pins that they picked up, and then they can trade with other people who are attending or the cast members with the cheaper pins or what have you to get what they want. So my thought process is keep the open face $15 pins, keep like the bigger one character pack $12 mystery pack, but also introduce a cheaper, maybe like $8 or $10 mystery pack that has 2 pins in it that are significantly smaller, but maybe they can be like artifacts or tokens, because we have so many cool artifacts and token art that if you make those will be fun to collect for people who love the art, but it'll also give people a trading fodder, and people will understand that the artifacts and the like tokens are super commons. They're mysteries in their own way, but they're cheaper in their commons. So that way it gives people an idea of what's pin trading fodder if they don't want them, and then what they need to trade for. Because at this point, having just the $12 mystery packs is kind of hard, because it's based on popularity, and popularity is going to be very difficult depending on who you're talking to. Either way, that's my feedback on it. I think this is a great program, and I'm so excited to continue doing it. Yay, accessible collectibles!